Hello and welcome to our lesson on physical and chemical changes. We will be looking at two main things in this very short lesson. We will be studying about physical changes and chemical changes of substances. It is important to understand the difference between these two types of changes. Physical changes normally refer to changes in the state of matter or substances. In such changes, there are no new substances that are formed. It is only the state of the substance or matter that has changed. An example can be seen when water changes state. Liquid water can change state to become solid water in the form of ice cubes. It can also change its state to gas in the form of water vapor or steam. For chemical changes, it involves changes of the structure of the atoms or molecules that are involved. In such changes, you mostly find that a new substance is created. The typical chemical change can be seen when one burns charcoal. The charcoal turns into ash and also smoke particles. These are totally different substances from the charcoal. Let's concentrate a bit on physical changes. A physical change is a change in which no new substances are formed. Physical changes normally affect the shape or form of a substance but not the chemical composition of that substance. It may refer to changes in state of matter such as solids, liquids, or gases. Examples of physical changes include melting, freezing, boiling. Let's look at some examples of physical changes. Ice melting involves a change from a solid to a liquid, and the substances maintain the properties of water because the molecules do not change. In the same way, when you freeze water, it will change from liquid to solid, but will still maintain the properties of water because the molecules are also not changed. Water boiling is a physical change that vibrates the water molecules faster, causing them to become water vapor. But in the end, the properties of water are not changed. When you dissolve sugar or salt in water, it is also a form of physical change. The solids, even though they dissolve, do not lose their properties. It is possible to obtain the sugar or salt back to its original state. When you melt wax on a candle, it temporarily becomes liquid and is able to flow, but after a while, it goes back to being solid again. When we shred paper into pieces, the paper only loses its original shape and becomes smaller bits. However, it is still paper. When you mix sand and water, it is still possible to obtain the sand back from the mixture, so we regard this as a physical change. When you split wood into several pieces, it is still wood even though it has changed form. Let's look at some characteristics of physical changes. The molecular composition of the substance that are involved are not changed during the physical change. In other words, the substances that are involved do not lose the chemical properties. A physical change is normally temporal in that it can be reversed in one way or the other. In the physical change, no energy transformation takes place, and also the mass of the substances that are involved are still the same. Let's now look at chemical changes. A chemical change is a change in which the molecular composition of the substance involved gets totally changed. This normally results in the formation of new substances that have different properties. Examples of chemical changes include burning of fuel, rusting of an iron object, digestion of food in the body, which involves chemicals in the body acting on food, photosynthesis, which is a process by which plants manufacture their own food, boiling of eggs, leaving milk to go bad, setting off fireworks, and much more. Let's look at some of the characteristics of chemical changes. Chemical changes normally result in the formation of new substances. The changes that occur are usually permanent and cannot be reversed. This means you cannot obtain the original substances that were used to create the new substances by any means. Energy changes take place during a chemical reaction. This is because there is a difference in energy when trying to break the molecules of the old bond that hold the old substances together. The energy is either absorbed or released during a chemical reaction. The mass of the substance also gets changed during a chemical reaction. This is because masses can either be added or removed as a result of the chemical reaction. It may result in an increase or decrease in weight of the new substance. Physical and chemical changes are all around us, and it is very, very important for you to observe and know some of these physical and chemical changes. This brings us to the end of this very short lesson. Goodbye.